Hello ladies and gentlemen, Willie here. Well, the apocalypse aka Phase 2 is now upon us and PvP ranking, the honor system and world bosses are live. So I wanted to give you guys some information on how ranking works, what the rewards are, as well as an overview of what it takes to hit the big boy ranks. At this point, I bet that everyone has heard of how competitive PvP ranking will be in Classic WoW, and indeed how competitive it was back in the day. And given the insane preparation many players have been putting in, what we will see in the open world, especially on PvP servers, will be completely unique. With the average player having such widespread knowledge of what gear to use, what consumables to have, what specialization to play, what we're going to be seeing is nothing short of an entire open world battleground. The system behind all these ranks and points isn't exactly what you would call straightforward, and it can take a bit of time to get your head around. First of all, let's cover how you rank up, then we can look at the rewards, especially the tier sets. Let's do this. First, let's cover a few terms that matter. Honourable kills are when you take someone out who is at least still green on their portrait, basically the lowest level possible person you can kill that would have given experience if they were a monster, which will be level 48 if you're at level 60. Dishonourable kills are when you take out an NPC with the civilian tag, and this was brought into effect to dissuade people from camping low level quest areas or starting zones. These immediately affect your rank and will drop your rank extremely quickly, even if killed by a mistake or by someone else in a raid group. Be very wary about this. Contribution points are the points earned from the objectives and honourable kills earned throughout the week. Players at different rank are worth different amounts of contribution points. This number has also been raised in 1.8 to the following. Contribution points will also be earned from battleground objectives eventually, like capturing the flag in Warcraft Gulch or defeating an enemy lieutenant in Alterac Valley. Capturing a flag is actually worth the same amount of contribution points as defeating a rank 14 player, so play the objective, folks. The contribution points for an honourable kill against a person is subject to diminishing returns, where it will drop by 10% each kill within a 24-hour period. So if I defeat a rank 6 player one time, I'll get 260 CP, and if I defeat him again, I'll get 234, and so on until 0 CP after 10 kills. Now your contribution points decide your weekly standing. The person with the most contribution points gets a weekly standing of 1, the next 2, and so on. As this is decided by whoever gets the most contribution points, the number 1 weekly standing person will vary from week to week, server to server, and faction to faction. And there is also a cutoff point of at least 15 honor kills per week to earn a rank spot at all. All this adds up to your weekly rating points based upon your personal standing, your contribution points, and the number of players ranking on your server and faction. Players are divided up into brackets based on these metrics and awarded points, with the top contribution point earner getting 13,000 ranking points and progressively lower from there. All clear? Yep, me neither. You'll need a certain number of ranking points to enter a certain rank, which is shown here. So what all this means is you aren't just competing against the enemy faction when you're in PvP, you're competing against your own faction for ranking. The harder people push, the more difficult it will be to get those high-end ranking points, as they're decided by whoever no-lifes the hardest. Not only that, but to increase your rank you need to play more and more each rank, as we have a lovely thing called decay. And your decay is 20% of your total honor per week. So not only are you fighting to beat others in your faction, you have to play more and more each week to maintain your score at higher ranks. Essentially, once you want to go above rank 9 or 10, you can't really stop until you reach your goal, or decay will drop you out super fast. So simply put, in summary, do PvP, earn contribution points. At the end of the week, which should be Tuesday for Classic, your contribution points are translated into weekly standing minus decay, which then, based off the percentile cutoff point, assign you your rank points, and those rank points will determine your rank. Simple, right? This is why back in the day, people would essentially make agreements not to earn more than a certain amount to fix who ended up being rank 14. This was so that everyone didn't have to pull 16+ hour days for weeks and weeks on end, subject to some devious play of course. No doubt we'll see this again, people sneaking in battlegrounds in the middle of the night to grab them contribution points. It's gonna happen. I bet we won't have a rank 14 before we have Warcraft Gulch personally. Open world PvP isn't great for contribution points, and you're only getting points from kills, which diminish of course. And with so many people prepping hard for the grind, I think guys at the top end are going to make lives very difficult for themselves. Only a faction-wide cooperation would see someone get up there so early. In Battlegrounds you're seeing much more variance in enemies and there are objectives, so overall short Battlegrounds like Warsong Gulch get you far more contribution points. Saying that, we are all playing on an even playing field at the moment, so maybe I'll be wrong, we'll see. Don't be too discouraged by all this though, it sounds pretty intimidating, but to rank up to the likes of rank 7 or 8, it can be done fairly casually if you are consistent in your efforts. And of course there's no way to say you need to play X amount of hours for X rank. It depends on the number of players ranking and how many contribution points are being earned on your server. And I don't even think it's going to be easier on a larger or a smaller server to rank. If anything, I would say there's more opportunity to rank on a larger server due to there being more players ranking in all likelihood. But then again, if your server population is small enough, there may only be space for one rank 14 player per week, and consequently less space for lower ranks too. It's entirely subjective to your server, something you'll have to feel out. So with that simple little system out of the way, what's the benefit of all this? Gear, mainly gear. Very good gear for the most part, along with some cool other stuff. Even if PvP isn't really your thing, at least getting to rank 3 can be very nice as you get the 10% faction-wide discount, including things like your epic mount if you don't have it yet, and yes, this does stack with your honoured discount too. At rank 6 you get access to healing and mana potions, which are equivalent to superior potions but cheaper basically. Rank 11 gives the iconic mounts, subject to race restrictions of course. These all look amazing in my opinion and are some of my favourite mounts to ever have been released in the game. By rank 10 you can get hold of all of the full rare PvP sets for all classes, and all PvP sets are itemised towards dealing damage, so classes with healing capabilities like priests or shamans will find better upgrades in PvE for those roles. However, if you're a big shadow or enhancement player for example, these sets are pretty sweet. For hybrid classes with more than one damage specialisation like shaman or druid, the sets are more geared towards enhancement and feral respectively, though they still have some decent intellect and spell power on them. Full epic gear requires rank 13 and the weapons need rank 14. There was originally a rank 15 as well, City Defender, which only one person could hold this rank per week and they would be instantly able to teleport to their faction capital, but this one was never implemented in the end. One of the most interesting things about PvP sets are the gloves or boots for certain classes, which all have a unique effect, which vary from kind of meh to pretty amazing. Also, both the rare sets and the epic sets have different set bonuses. Finally, note that for each new rank that unlocks gear, you also unlock a new tier set bonus. So for example, rank 7 that gives you the rare boots and gloves will give you the rare tier 2 set bonus, and rank 12 unlocking the epic gloves, legs and boots will give you the epic tier 2 and tier 3 set. So let's take a quick look over what different classes get. The mage gloves give an increase to the absorb on out of mana, mana shield, at least it gives fire better durability I suppose, and a 1.5 second cooldown reduction to blink, 10% of the cooldown off basically. Extremely strong, blink is your get out of pretty much anything free card. Priest gloves give a 50% chance to ignore spell knockback when casting Mind Blast. This is okay I guess. Quite often you're likely to have a shield arm or perhaps martyrdom active. The set bonus is some extra spell damage and stamina, as well as a 1 second increase to Psychic Scream. Once again a very good set bonus. This is your big tool of healing in fights. Warlock gloves give a 50% chance to avoid knockback when casting Searing Pain. This is pretty solid, mainly because it's a fire spell, not a shadow spell, so if you get locked on one school, you actually have the ability to spam this spell reasonably reliably. The set bonuses are spell damage and stamina, as well as a cast reduction for Immolate. Very nice. This ability can go down to 1.3 second cast time with the Bane talent, particularly useful if you're using those Immolates up on Conflagrate a lot, need to reapply them frequently. As for Druid, this is the only real feral DPS focused gear set in the game by the way. The gloves give an increase to stealth detection, putting you more on an even playing field against rogues, especially when they have stealth talented. There are some decent stamina and attack power bonuses. The biggest draw here however is the speed bonus across all shapeshifts. This turns travel form into 55% speed and cat with feral swiftness into 45% speed, whilst outdoors of course, making druids near impossible to get away from or catch up to to when they're running away with your flag. The rogue bonus item effect isn't on the gloves, it's on the boots, which increase the duration of sprint by 3 seconds from 15 to 18 seconds. Not bad. More of a flavour thing having it on the boots since it's speed that's being affected here. The set bonuses are raw stats once again, and a 1 second reduction to the cooldown of Gouge from 10 to 9 seconds, and Gouge can last 5.5 seconds when talented. More CC, just what rogues needed, perfect. Hunters are the only class to have a different effect on their gloves from the rare PvP set to the epic PvP set for some reason. The rare set reducing the mana cost of arcane shot by 15, not great to be honest. The epic set however give an extra 4% damage to multi-shot, making it very strong in all content. As your damage scales up from other sources, this continues to scale. Good replacements for tier gear from any raid right here. The set bonus reduces the cooldown of concussive shot by 1 second from 12 to 11 seconds. Doesn't sound like much, but this ability is one of your key kiting tools and give you that extra chance to proc improved concussive shot, which is a big deal, and once this procs it's basically a free aim shot for you. Shaman get their bonus effect on their boots too, since it's also tied to movement speed for Ghost Wolf, giving it a plus 15% speed, so that'll bring it up to 45% speed in Ghost Wolf whilst outdoors of course. Sounds good. In practice though, even when talented, Ghost Wolf still has a 1 second cast time, and it can be dispelled by warlocks or priests. At least Shaman don't have to deal with purge I guess. If it's not dispelled, it's pretty sweet though. The tier effect is more crit chance for shocks, not bad especially if you pair it up with a few talents like Reverberation, Elemental Fury, or even Elemental Devastation for enhancement. Paladin Gloves gives plus 20 holy damage from Judgment of the Crusader. This one is probably the least useful out of any class. 20 extra holy damage really isn't going to be doing anything for you. The set bonus reduces the cooldown of Hammer of Justice by 10 seconds. This one however is huge. Hammer of Justice is one of your best spells, and when talented it can come down to a 35 second cooldown on a 6 second targeted ranged stun. Now that is really strong. Finally, Warrior. The gloves reduce the cost of hamstring by 3, which is bigger than it sounds actually. This ability can be used to proc deep wounds, improved hamstring, or extra hit effects like the sword specialization or Hand of Justice, so it's worth spamming if you can afford to. The set bonus reduces the cooldown of intercept by 5 seconds. Once again, very strong, brings the cooldown from 30 seconds down to 25. There is a talent in the Fury tree to reduce this by another 10 seconds, but that means no Mortal Strike, so I'm not sure how much of that we're going to be seeing. And of course, Warrior's key weakness is getting kited, and this reduces it, so obviously it's going to be great. Oh, and one final thing, no, you don't lose your ability to equip armor once you have bought it at a certain rank. So you can rank up as far as you need to go, buy what you want, and then never touch PvP again if you really want. Pre 1.6 you couldn't equip your gear if you lost the rank required to earn it. So if you wanted those sweet PvP weapons, you had to play all day, every day, forever. It's probably changed for the best here. Anyway, with all this coming out today, as well as world bosses, get out there, have some fun. Planning on ranking at all? What are you going for? I'm going to go for rank 10 myself in the long run. I need me those Warlock shoulders and helm. They're super well itemized. Let me know what you're going to be getting up to, and I will see you in the next one. If you like what you see, give the video a like and subscribe, as there's plenty more to come. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye.